I've kind of fucked my situation up a little bit. In my 20s, I buried my head in the sand. I was so scared to make a mistake. Oh, fundamentally, because reality before then was so tough, I decided to not even try. I gave up. And the worst thing you can do is give up and waste a large chunk of your life. That's why prison is so damaging, because deservedly so. But like, you lock someone up for like 20 years, that is the biggest punishment you could give someone. It's their life just gone. That massive chunk of time where they could improve themselves and stuff like that. It is a good punishment, frankly, in my opinion anyway. Obviously depending on the crime, but you know what I'm trying to say. And now I've got a growing impressionable audience, right? Like, a lot of you watch me are late teens, early 20s, and you're asking me questions about your career, which I don't know if you trust me. I'm a random guy on YouTube. I'm struggling to find work, but I can tell you what not to do based on the mistakes that I made. So, for example, this guy was like, should I go to university? Given my background, and you shouldn't really take any advice from someone on YouTube, if you've got nothing else going for you, university is a great choice to, because it's like, oh, I want to travel as well. And like, well, university gives you points so you can travel. Because obviously getting a visa requires a point system when you go into a different country, and universities often give you those points. So I'm like, yeah, absolutely, go to university. And also it does help your career prospects to some extent. Don't rely on it for a job, but it's the networking, it's the bundle of good stuff that comes with a degree, right? So I digress, but I said to him, go for it. But it's interesting because people fear that it's the wrong thing to do. They fear of failure. And when you avoid making mistakes, that is the biggest mistake. Which is so ironic, isn't it? I'm 34 now, and I want to make as many mistakes as possible in the shortest amount of time so that I can recover from those mistakes and learn from them. That's why I make YouTube videos every day. I'm fully aware the video quality sucks. I'm fully aware I'm not doing the best I can with these videos, and I'm trying to improve every day. By making videos every day, you improve the subconscious skills of improved public speaking and stuff like this. This is something I also realized when I was working in insurance, by the way, as well, because a lot of it was, talking to a camera. And I was talking to loads of people with limited experience talking to loads of people. So YouTube is a great tool to help you with that. With the coding as well, I thought, it was too hard. 10 plus years ago, I thought YouTube was too hard, and I didn't even try. And now you look at people like, I watch Asmongold, for example, and I don't know if you know who he is, but he's like a really popular YouTube guy, and he's the same age as me. And he started and their videos were terrible, but they were terrible. They were so terrible, people liked watching them. And because there wasn't many people on YouTube, he had a larger audience. Fear of failure is probably the biggest thing, is the worst thing that you could do. It's not be prepared to make mistakes and look like an idiot. And I think a part of that, there's ego there, which you need to destroy. I think ego is the biggest, it's part of fear of failure, to be fair. Ego and accountability. I'm consciously aware that even now people probably watch my videos and laugh at them because, oh, look how ridiculous he is and stuff like that. And you know what? Fair. It doesn't matter, because this process is destroying my ego and making me accountable to being able to make a consecutive amount of failures. When I was in the gym, and I started when I was early 20s, I starved myself. This is a good example. I starved myself because of school. I wanted to get in a situation where I was unable to go to school. I was getting beaten up a lot. And I went to this gym. Some turning point in my life happened around 16, 17. I think I went to the doctors and they were like, you need to eat more food. You need to start working out. The best doctor in the world. And you couldn't say that now. It's not technically a medical diagnosis. But the personal trainers there are fucking amazing. It was one of the best learning experiences of my life, truly. One of the personal trainers, he got me on the squat rack. And he said to me, learn to fall over with the squat rack. Literally. This 49 kilo, 6'1" guy, sort of a stick insect, right? I was on this squat rack. And he said to me, go down, 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 right, and fall over. He wanted me to get rid of the fear of this squat rack and realize that worst comes to the worst, you can just fall over and just fuck up. Do you know what I mean? And in the preceding months, I had like these ex-prisoners who were training people as part of getting back into society. And this guy called Wolfie, the scariest man I've ever met, right? And I think he was involved in some gangs. He literally put a bucket in front of me and said to me, right, squat until you throw up. Cool. Now you're going to carry on squatting. Bit extreme. The following night, my legs seized up and I probably did some damage there. But it wasn't about building the muscle. It was about fear of failing over and over again. And for the life of me, that didn't translate into other parts of my life as well. Because I just worked out in my 20s and played video games. I was halfway there. Do you know what I mean? I didn't apply that type of perseverance in my fitness to what I wanted to do, which was YouTube. Or I think the problem was with that was failing in the gym was limited to the people around me. So the 3 or 4 personal trainers that sort of trained me up and the people that went to that gym was really quiet. I think that's the issue. I think failing in front of a large audience is terrifying. And when you're trying to learn something new and you get into a job world that's like such as tech, for example, you are surrounding yourself with a large group of people. And I think that might have terrified me. But yeah, point in this video is just don't fear the process, don't fear failure, and drop the ego. Because if you don't, you end up in my situation where you've got no choice but to. Hope that makes sense. Cheers.